You don't have any friends and people really don't like you, or at least it appears that way. Women who do not have any friends, or women who people generally do not like, or you perceive them as not liking you, these type of women are actually oftentimes misunderstood. I came across a video on TikTok of a young lady speaking about how she went on a work event and her manager brought it to her attention that nobody in the office likes her. I quote, the manager told her, "You piss people off." This young woman, even though she seemed like she might have been a little tough, maybe a little self-aware, however, she expressed that it hurt her feelings to hear that she actually pisses people off in the office. She was saying that she can't believe at her big age, she's still upset by people not liking her. She's still upset by not having friends. She's still upset if people don't receive her in the way she would like them to. And this is me adding, it seems that she's misunderstood. First of all, for the manager to say that to her in that way, in my opinion, was very unprofessional. But it did bring up a point of how when women don't have any friends or don't have a lot of friends, and it appears that people do not like you, is oftentimes because that woman is misunderstood. There are 4 specific reasons, I believe, why women, typically women with no friends and people don't like them, there are typically 4 reasons for that. Number 1, it's the refusal to be fake. When you are a woman who refuses to be fake, oftentimes that will make you, that will make other people dislike you. I think right now we live in a society where everybody is so fake. People are absolutely so fake. They're so accustomed to everybody being fake, being phony, just conforming and being how other people want them to be. When they come across a person with a genuine personality, genuine character, they're not easily conforming to the way other people are, that will cause people to dislike you. So the simple reason or of not being fake, that might cause people to not like you. When you are a woman who's not concerned with being a people pleaser, that will also sometimes make people not like you. It goes back to not conforming. And because women typically tend to be so much more jealous of other women, it's kind of hard for some women to make friends with other women because of their jealousy. When you refuse to be fake with them, when you refuse to overlook their cattiness, their negativity, and this is not just with women, also with men. When you're not willing to play along and once again be fake, that may cause some people to dislike you, number 1. The number 2 reason why I believe women who have no friends and are often disliked, or you perceive it as people disliking you, it's because you're not passive enough for them. We live in a day and age where everybody's feelings are hurt so easily. And as women, I always speak about femininity and showing grace, but being feminine is not being naive, and being feminine is not being passive. As a woman, if you speak up for what you want and what you need, if you are more direct in your approach and in your communication, that can be perceived as aggressiveness and not cooperative by people who are highly sensitive and easily triggered by a person telling them exactly what they want. If you are a strict communicator, and I say this because the young lady, she actually said that, when I'm in the office, I'm a little bit more blunt in my approach. I'm a little bit more brash, and I didn't know that was pissing people off. I'm just direct in my communication. Now, disclaimer, ladies, a little bit of a sidebar. You can be assertive, as I said before, you can be assertive without being aggressive. So to be a direct communicator, especially in business and in your life, to be a woman who's not afraid to tell people exactly what she wants and needs and not tap dance around it, that is a wonderful thing that says something about your confidence as a woman. However, being brash, being overly aggressive, that can be seen as a character flaw. I don't know if this young lady exactly how she operates among other people, but it seems like maybe she is a little bit too blunt. But even if she's not, there are some people, if you tell them exactly what you want and need, because they're accustomed to people tap dancing around their emotions, around their feelings, they will perceive you as aggressive and not like you. It's unfortunate that people no longer, and not all people, but once again, it comes back to people, in my opinion, being so fake, being so passive, especially other women. And this is part of the reason why women don't like to be friends with other women oftentimes, because of the passive aggressive nature. And if you are a woman who is very direct in speech, if you call out negativity or something bothers you and you say something about it, to certain people who are not used to dealing with a woman who is direct in her approach to communication, they may not like you simply because you're not passive enough. People like for you to allude to what you want, allude to what you need, but never come out and say it directly simply because it may hurt their feelings. But women who are smart communicators, women who understand that their life is not like something to play with, and they can't let their thoughts and the things that they need hang in the balance, they understand that I need to deal with people who can handle if I tell them I need something or something's bothering me. And you even have that with men and women alike, where they prefer a passive form of communication rather than you being direct. And then when you don't tell them what's happening and they find out, they get upset with you because you never made it known. See, people like that, we call it, from the spiritual perspective, it's like double-mindedness, where like you're like in, out, you don't really say what you mean. And the world that we live in, because once again, I know I'm saying this a lot, but it's true, people are so fake, they're not used to people saying what they mean and meaning what they say. So if you are the type of woman who is not passive, that may cause some people to not like you. Number two. The number three reason why I believe some women who do not have friends and people don't like you, people don't like them, or you perceive people as not liking you, it's because you have a resting bee face. Now, for some women, that resting bee face can intimidate other people. Now, you have the face you were born with, you have the mannerisms that you know, that's a part of your character, a part of your personality. But some people, even in this year we live in, are still thrown off by a woman's resting bee face. If you're not familiar with the term resting bee face or resting four-legged dog face, it's a woman who, when she's not speaking or when she's not smiling, when she's just regular, her face is just, you know, she's not doing anything with her face, she looks very mean and intimidating. I myself have a resting bee face. I have worked over the years to kind of train myself to not just stay in that, simply because I don't want to come off as unapproachable, because I'm not that way. And this leads me to the being misunderstood part. People will often dislike you if you have that resting bee face. And as women, it's not really talked about that much, but many women experience it. If you've ever walked past a group of men while you're walking down the street or walking through the mall or what have you, and they say, "Smile, ma, smile, sis, don't be mad," in your head, you could be thinking about your date for the evening. You could be thinking about the promotion you just got on your job. You could be thinking about going to the store. You could be thinking about cooking dinner. But because you do not have a big Kool-Aid grin on your face, people will perceive you as being upset, as being mad, as if something is wrong with you. You are misunderstood. And when you have the face, the resting bee face, you look unapproachable or intimidating to people who simply don't know how to mind their business. They may not like you, especially in the work environment. There's something about being in the work environment, and I speak about the work environment often because that's where most people find themselves. That's where the most interaction happens with people, within the workplace, within school, within business. So in the workplace, if you're a woman, you might be sweet as pie, but because you have that resting bee face, some people may not like you. They will automatically assume that you're mean, you're negative, you're this, you're that. I'm telling you from personal experience, because I've went through that in my 20s and in my late teens, where people thought that I was so intimidating, like I was a problem starter, simply because I'm not always walking around with a smile on my face. And even until this day, sometimes I'm not upset, but I'm just not smiling. And people will look at you like, oh, she got an attitude. It's something about women where they have this attitude assessment meter, where they can spot what they perceive as an attitude a mile away. But in reality, you're just minding your business, and because they're not doing the same, they may not like you. So for women who do not have friends, or typically people just don't like you for some reason, or you perceive them as not liking you, it could be because you have a resting bee face. What can you do about that? Now, disclaimer, for some women, if it becomes problematic to the point where you are coming off as aggressive and you know that and you want to change it, work on different facial expressions. Walk past the mirror and see how you can soften up your look when you're not speaking or smiling. You know, I worked on that because I don't want to come off as being unapproachable, because I like people. I like to talk to people, but I'm not always walking around like this so that people know that I like people. If you don't care about those things, then continue as you are. As long as you know that you are not problematic, you are not what people assume you to be, all based on their assumption of your resting bee face. So the number 3 reason why some people might not like you, especially women with no friends, are often misunderstood and disliked, or perceived as being disliked, because you have a resting bee face. You might come off as unapproachable to people who spend too much time studying you instead of minding their business. Number 3. The number 4 reason why people don't like you, or you perceive people as not liking you, especially those women who have no friends, and I wrote this down so that I can stay on track. You don't need outside validation. I've spoke about this in so many videos. Women who do not need a lot of outside validation are a threat to people who are bent on misunderstanding her, and who waste their time studying a woman who they do not like. As I said in that previous comment about women who kind of have this attitude assessment meter, when you are a woman who doesn't need a lot of outside validation, which means you know who you are, you know you're a sweet person, you know you're a kind person, the people who are in your immediate circle and the people who know you closely, they know how you are. So because of that, you're not that concerned with how people at your job, people at your school, or people in your community may perceive you, simply because you're not willing to put on the show so that they can see, hey, I'm a nice lady, like me, like me. It's like you're not a people pleaser. And because of that, people might not like you. It's simply, how can I say it? I'll give you this example. Let's say you speak to your neighbor. You're in your neighborhood, maybe you've been there for a few months, and you speak to one of your neighbors and they don't speak back. And you overhear them talking about how you have an attitude, how sometimes you come off, she always looked like something's wrong with her. And unfortunately, I'm telling you this because I've been through this, where they'll look at you, they might have saw you in one moment, or they might see you on your way to somewhere. And because you look like you're a woman on your way to somewhere, you're not just smiling and grinning like, hey, you know, ooh, this is a real moment. Look, you were on your way to somewhere and you're not smiling and grinning, but you're busy. You're focusing on yourself. The moment you do speak to them, they'll say to you, oh, how you doing? It's like that shook, how you doing? As if they're not sure if you mean what you're saying, because they spend so much time studying you, misunderstanding you, that they can't even receive a simple hello from you because they're perceiving it as attitude. Women have something, they have that attitude pedometer, speedometer, pedometer, whatever, this machine, device, where they think they can spot an attitude a mile away simply because you're being yourself. All women even if you're in your femininity. All women are not super cheery. All women are not super in the mix. You have some women who are very introverted. You have some women who are ambiverted. And you have some women who are extroverted. I myself, I'm ambiverted, meaning I enjoy my own company, as I have said before, but when I'm around the right people and the vibe is right and I'm like, I like you, then I'm all in the mix. I like talking to people when I feel like talking to people. As a woman, you are not obligated, and just as a person in general, for men too, you're not obligated to make other people feel okay with you if it requires you being fake. It all comes back to that overarching theme. People, especially women who don't have any friends, or people don't really like you, or you perceive them as not liking you, it's because they want to misunderstand you. It's because they're seeing you through the lens, oftentimes, of their own insecurity and their own conflict and chaos. They've probably been in so many situations with toxic people that they perceive everybody as being toxic. Every woman has an attitude, and you're just minding your business. You could have just had a family situation, and you come across a catty, envious, weirdo energy woman, and she automatically assumes your attitude is with her. You could be going through the roughest time of your life, and you could depend on some catty, overbearing woman to make it seem like you have an attitude with her when you're focusing on your children, focusing on your relationship. You might have something going on with family, but to them, because they study you so much to misunderstand because they don't like you, they automatically assume she has an attitude. That's why it's not a good idea, and this is a little bit of a sidebar, to not always be so quick to judge other people. And while I am not the kind of person that says don't judge to skate over bad behavior, but I do say that sometimes as women, we're a little tough on one another. If a woman's not smiling and she doesn't make you feel all warm and fuzzy on the inside, the moment you meet her, it's like she has an attitude, she doesn't like you, and thus you don't like her. Women dynamics, friendship dynamics between women can be very, which is the reason why some women choose to have no friends, and because of that, some people may not like them for it. Now, what can you do? If you find yourself in a situation where people don't like you, or you're perceiving them as not liking you, and you actually care about that, you want to change it, you want to make friends, you want people to feel comfortable with you, if you are coming off in some kind of way, you want to fix it. What can you do? So I say these things not because I feel like you need to please people, because I'm a strong believer that your tribe will find you, but if you are concerned with how you're coming off to people, number one, work on your personal development as a woman. And the only way you can do that is to be self-aware. This young woman, going back to the TikTok video, she stated that sometimes I can come off very harsh, very brash. She has self-awareness. Let me sip my coffee. She has self-awareness. So with that being said, it would be wise of her to work on her approach. Let's be real. On the flip side of this, there are some women who are very nasty, very catty. The way they speak, they're a little bit too direct. They try to come off as mean and threatening and intimidating, and that's not okay. And if that's you, don't feel bad, because a lot of women, and I have to say it, especially black women, a lot of us have been programmed to come off as very rough and tough because we had to fight to be heard. If you grew up in an environment where maybe you were around a lot of overbearing, obnoxious people where they really didn't listen to you, as you mature as a woman and you get older, you're like, you're going to hear me, you're going to do what I need you to do, you're going to respect me. And when women grow up to have that kind of mentality, it can kind of harden their approach, harden their communication, to where now they're speaking to everyone like they're a toddler. That's not okay. I have dealt with women like that, where they're so hard in their approach. They could be saying something to you right, but because they feel like they have to browbeat you and demand on you in order for you to listen, and that's nothing more than insecurity. because women feel like they're not being heard, so they have to be so rough and overly abrasive. If that's you, work on softening your approach. As a woman, to lean into your femininity, and that's why I talk about leaning your femininity, you will understand that you can be heard, you can be seen without beating people over the head to get their attention, without being nasty, without being rude, without making people feel like they should fear you in order to listen to you. So work on your personal development, work on your approach as a woman. And if you feel like you need to soften up, like you're a little bit too masculine, do that. I've had multiple coworkers where they were very nice people, but in the beginning, I must say, I didn't want to have anything to do with these people because the way she came off, it was very like, how can I say it? Like women try to have this hierarchy over you where they want you to believe that somehow you have to listen to me because I'm in charge. Like that kind of mentality. Instead of just taking it easy, being soft, being kind. There's a verse of scripture that came to me, as I believe, says those who want friends must show themselves to be friendly. Meaning that you have to be friendly. If you want to make friends, you have to be friendly. Nobody wants to be friends with a thorn. Nobody wants to communicate with a thorn. Nobody has to be bothered with somebody's negative, nasty, hard approach to life. So there is a flip side to that. So work on your personal development. And then number 2 thing you can do, if you care about those kind of things as a woman and you want to come off as more approachable, more friendly, especially if you feel like people don't really like you or you don't have any friends or having a hard time making friends, know how to take constructive criticism. I saw a clip of a dating show. This woman, first of all, I'm not with the dating shows, but I saw the clip and this woman, she's looking for a mate, whatever, but she's so hard. She's like a guy, to her approach. And she's funny. She was funny, no doubt, but she came off like a guy. Like the way she was interacting with the men, she was just like one of them. And her friends kept trying to tell her that, they're liking you, but not like that because you're coming off like you're one of the guys. Soften up. Like, don't be so, rough. And she couldn't take that criticism. I don't know how the rest of the show went, but I know it was a white lady in this dating show. She was a little bit heavyset lady. You might know what show I'm talking about. Her friends were trying to give her pointers on how to like soften up, lighten up. She would not listen. I don't know how it went, but I give you that example to say, sometimes when people give you criticism, even though I think her manager expressed the way she pisses people off, how people don't like her in the office, I think that was very unapproachable, unprofessional in his approach. If he would have said it in a nicer way, like maybe you're not coming off as friendly in the work environment, maybe she could have received it a little bit better. But when people give you constructive criticism because they truly care about you and they want to see you be the best version of yourself, receive it. Women who lean into their femininity, they're able to receive from other people, not just money, not just gifts, but they're able to receive wisdom and actually be taught something. And the beautiful thing about being a grown woman, a mature woman, is understanding that you don't know everything. And when you have people coming along who truly care about you, who want to see you be the best version of yourself, who want to see you thrive and get what you need out of life, listen. So as a woman, and I know it's not popular to say because a lot of people are used to just going about their own way, and sometimes that gets them nowhere. But as women, especially as you level up and become wiser, and if you truly believe that people don't like you and you care about that, take constructive criticism. Even if it comes from other women, if it comes from other women who you might feel some kind of way about, but they genuinely care about you, listen. I can tell you in my own life, there are some women I wish I would have received from, but because of where I was in my life at the time, I could not receive from them because where I was is not where they are. And I just didn't feel comfortable receiving from them. Ladies, don't be that way. Be willing to take constructive criticism. And the number 3 thing you can do, if you have no friends, people don't like you, and you feel like you're not okay with that, well, you are okay with that actually, do nothing. If you don't care about that and you're just like, hey, this is me, that's your right as a woman. You have some women who say, people don't like me, I don't have friends, and I don't care. And while I don't believe in being a people pleaser, I don't believe in, trying to make people like you. It's okay to be soft. It's okay to be kind. It's okay to be approachable. And even if you're that way, there are going to be some mean, miserable people who are not going to like you simply because you're that way. I mean, you really can't win. So if people don't like you and you are being you, you're being you and you're working on the things you need to work on and just existing in your skin, and they still don't like you, at that point, that's their problem. As women, you have to, the way I see it, I always ask God to bring the right people into my life. And I try my best to make peace with people as much as I can. I try my best to be as kind and sweet and all that stuff to people. But even in that, some people are not going to like you. So they don't like you. They don't like me. I don't know why. It's not your job to sit here and try to figure out. Live your life. Your tribe will find you. And the people who don't like you, oftentimes it's because they don't like themselves, or they waste all their time studying you so that they can misunderstand you because they don't like you. It is what it is. All right. Like and subscribe to the channel and share this content. Hit the notification bell so that you're aware when I post a brand new video. If you watch this video until the very end, put the high heel emoji in the comments section. I absolutely love to see it. Take care.